Hey, what's up? This is Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger,
And Jeff Barrazzo, Trent Fernandez-Mercer from Battle Thunder.
and you are watching Team Venom Media.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Team Venom's Mighty Morphin Power Ranger podcast. I'm your co-host, Rory Bailey, joined by my co-host, Julie Portis. How's it going, Julie?
Everything is good here in the Bronx.
Cool. And special guest, three-time guest now, Mark Richardson, the original prop master from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers through a whole 10 years at Saban, wasn't it?
Yeah, to Wild Force.
Wow.
Yes.
Wild Force.
Firstly, we spoke about it briefly before we started recording. How much is the current strike affecting you at the moment, Mark?
The rug's been pulled from my feet. I mean, there's absolutely no work, and you can't work. We need to support what's going on, but there are people now doing reality TV. Drew Barrymore's got a show going. There's people giving in because it's like it's some kind of like, The Walking Dead, the whole concept of just losing everything. There's, there's nothing to do. I'm trained, I feel like standing on the side of the freeway and we'll teach you how to tear apart a 9mm for food. What I can do for a living, what I do for a living, I can't go out and get a job or, to do. And so unless I got, go work at Starbucks, and I have way too much of an attitude to do that. So, but luckily, I'm a prop guy. I could always create some props, and, I've been doing it on my horror icona page, and I got people supporting me that way. They're buying whatever little things I put out there. But every once in a while I come across some bitches, and I just did currently, I shouldn't let it bother me. And it will for like a week. Like I'll be at the light coming up with great comebacks to what I should have said or done. But then it goes away, and then I start fighting with somebody else. That's the way. But the strike is affecting everyone. It's painful, and I don't see an end in sight. I do not see an end in sight.
Well, sorry to hear that. But Julie?
What was that?
Over to you, buddy.
Oh, to me. I mean, I was paying attention, and I feel bad because like I've been in those situations, especially working hard labor. So I completely understand. Hopefully everything does change for the better. But I do hope everybody's supporting where you the cause, and hopefully everybody understands where you guys are coming from as well, especially in the movie industry, TV industry.
Yeah, I mean, writers and crew members are usually weird because like normally they don't really support us when we strike. And our strike, we struck, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we got nothing out of it. But we needed to go back to work, so we went back to work. This is AI. The strike is over AI, and there's no way these producers are gonna say no, we won't do AI. They're not gonna do it. It's as painful as this is, it's progress, and they're going to have to come up with some way of dealing with the fact that AI is here to stay.
Well, one of I know you just mentioned about the online spats and stuff with people jumping onto your horror icona page, that you've been doing that you've been selling the one of the things that I've seen quite a few times is the power coins that are from the original molds. The last time you were on one of these videos, I know I think we had something like 27 comments that were all people going, oh yeah, well, if you go to Starlight on Etsy, they're also selling the coins, and they've been selling them for, it's like, no, Mark's the guy from the show, guys. And we're like, so I know where you're coming from that, because I ended up going back and forth with them myself for a few days after the last episode with you on there. But to
And
hammer it to.
and when people were saying that, like, I'm bad mouthing Star, I wasn't bad mouthing Star. I'm just saying I don't have a problem with it. They're making my communicators cool. Hasbro's going to be making the communicators. Bandai made the communicator. That was just my job to make that stuff, come up and create that stuff. What gets me is when I'll put something out and people will go, no, you shouldn't. That's bootlegging, or you can't recast that stuff. And I keep trying to say, I'm not recasting it, folks. This is the original mold. These people. That's the reason why a lot of like my belt buckles and theirs is better looking because there's 3D printed and they look great, but they're not from the show. If you want something from history, get me. That's the reason I sign everything, give the old COA, say, hey, this is my original mold. But if you can't get a hold of it, or if my stuff's too cheap, expensive, go ahead, get that. You're fans. I don't have a problem with it. Just don't diss me. That's what I don't understand why. Can I tell you this? What just happened recently?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. So a friend of mine selling, he gives me, he doesn't want to put anything online. So he comes and he goes, hey, can you put these t-shirts on Horror Icona? And I go, yeah, because there was one that I really liked. And it's up right now because the situation. But it's a Comic-Con exclusive Chucky t-shirt, still has the tags and everything from 2004. It's the Chucky. Oh, that's cool. I throw it up for $45. And somebody joined Horror. I think somebody told, hey, they have Chucky stuff. He's a big fan. And so he joins it. And I'm doing a haunted house. And so I'm gone for 2 weeks. And I had a bunch of stuff that needed to be sent out. He was going to pay for the weekend. He didn't pay for it on the weekend. And then when he did pay it, it was like a week later. This is kind of a long story, but it just kind of, it's kind of like my rub here. And I was out of town and I had my wife take everything and ship everything off. And I really appreciate that because she's the only one working. And I come back early late last night, and I'm sleeping. I get this text, hey, what's the tracking on my t-shirt? I go, I don't know. And I can't get a hold of my wife. So I'm looking around going, I wonder, because, I see the tracking on everything else, why that didn't go out. So I go, I might have screwed up. And he goes, what do you mean you screwed up? I mean, I could tell right off the bat the guy was a bitch. And I was like, what do you mean you screwed up? And I'm like, don't you take care? It's like, he's starting to, I'm like, calm down, dude. It's a t-shirt. And so I look everywhere, and I found some cool stuff to sell, but I can't find this t-shirt. So I wrote him back. I go, listen, when my wife gets here, I'll just PayPal you the money back. He goes, well, this is what you did. You sold it to somebody else, and you don't have the balls to tell me or the guts to tell me that. So I go, all right, motherfucker. Yeah, if I would have done that, I would have said, no, it was too late. I don't care. I'm afraid of you kind of thing. And so, when my wife comes, I asked her, hey, this guy's a pain in the ass. I need to, do you have the, what happened? And she goes, oh, you gave me the wrong address. He's a Canadian. And I did something wrong. She goes, I couldn't send it. And I knew you're going to be home today. So you could just send it out today. And so I go, oh, and I go, you have the shirt? I go, oh my God, okay. And then I think, you know what? I don't want to deal with this guy. So I go, hey, I'm just going to send money back. And, I don't want you to have the t-shirt. I don't like the guy. So, just take your money back. So all this happened in one day. It's not like I kept it from him for a week or something. As soon as, the tracking, couldn't find it, found it, but, I just sent him the money back. I don't think, I'm with the guy. And then I get a notice on one of these prop pages, and he's like screen grabbed everything I said, and he's got it up there going, this guy's a scam artist. He's scamming, and he's got his boyfriend guy, on it going, yeah, he's a scam artist, and he makes molds of props and says they're screen used, and so I'm like, oh my God, these guys are total. And I knew the guy was that way. I just felt it in the very beginning of it. And so I go, wait a second, dude. One, why are you on a prop page bitching about a t-shirt? I go, if I was a doctor, would you be on, I didn't say this to him, but I wish I would have. It was one of those stoplight, man, I wish I would have said that. If I was a doctor, would you be on some medical page going, Dr. Richardson is a scam artist, it's a t-shirt. I go, and I paid you the money back the day that you complained about it. How am I a scam artist? What is your problem? And he goes, you're one of those prop masters. And I'm like, do not, I've done more films than this guy's probably has pubic hairs. This guy, and I don't think either one of them knows that. Maybe they think I'm just some guy, I'm gonna sell t-shirts, but I'm thinking, oh my God, why do I have to deal with people like this? And luckily the prop page just took it all down. Like, I think they read it, but I'm going, and the guy goes, why are you so angry at me? I just asked for the tracking number. I go, I never got angry at you for the tracking number. I got angry at you right now because you went on another page and started bitching about me. And and I knew you're this kind of guy from day one. I go, this is the only time I'm angry at you, and his boyfriend, buddy, whatever his name is, I mean, I should be posting their names. But I didn't block him because I wanted to show him, because I thought for sure this guy would go, you sold the shirt, and it's a $50 shirt, no big deal, but it just drives me crazy. You sold the shirt to somebody else. So I reposted the shirt to let him know I still have it. It's for sale. But this one guy wrote, he goes, yeah, I'm interested in buying it. And his boyfriend goes, oh no, it's a scam. How is it a scam? In what world is me giving you back your money a scam? Maybe I don't think Canadians know what the word scam means. Maybe they think scam is he'll just take your money and then send it back, and like, what the hell, dude? Okay, that's my vent, and I'm going to hear all kinds of people complaining about how dare Mark badmouth prop buyers, and I prop buyers are saving my ass right now. I'm badmouthing these kind of prop buyers because they're paying the asses. That's it. Okay, I'm done. Our next podcast is going, I got a whole bunch of people complaining about
I mean, the community in general, I see a lot of Facebook posts on different pages, people complaining about, hey, I made a purchase, this guy's not getting back to me. But then it's like, you don't follow the correct protocols. You don't see who they are before you purchase the item. You don't go ask them around like, hey, do you know this guys? Have you done business with them in the past? Use PayPal. That's the first thing I tell my friends. So you're going to purchase anything via Facebook, you don't know the person, just use PayPal, good services, keep yourself from not getting ripped off. But at the same time, it's like, I've had situations, thank God I've never been scammed throughout my whole little, journey of collecting stuff. But I've had situations where guys have, they messaged me back. They're like, hey, my son got his hands on the figure, took it out of the box, broke it. Let me refund you back. I can't get mad at that. At least you were, at least you reached out to me. You told me, hey, I'm just going to send you your money back complete. You don't worry about the PayPal fee. I'll take care of that. But, this and this happened. Unfortunately, I can't sell it for you. Cool. Not a problem. You were honest. I got my money back. You know what? Maybe in the future, if I see something else, I'll definitely purchase from you, because at least you walked up to me. Like we say here in New York, you kept it 100 with us. So, hey, let's do business next time.
If the guy hadn't stopped, like when I wake up, I say, he goes tracking it, and that's what got me going. And then I was like, I'm looking for it. And he goes, what, you don't keep it, like he was like complaining about me not having it right there, like the information. And he wrote, yikes. And I go, oh, I'm in trouble. But you know what? If the guy would have just been cool going, hey, okay, well, send back the money. When you find it, do you mind sending? That's all I needed. I don't need, oh, you didn't have the guts to tell me that you sold it. It's like, mate, you
100%.
created this whole thing. I would have told it. 99.9 of the fans of Power Rangers are my buddies. I mean, they go, you're my childhood. Not to mention, God damn it, I was Lord Zed. I Serpicon. I was some of your iconic. Not only did I make your iconic props, but I played iconic characters on Power Rangers. Granted, Lord Zed, all I had to do was lay in bed with Rita, but still, that's me.
But like, you got to lie in bed with Rita.
But that's what always, but and I've let the floodgates open on Horror Icona. Normally I kind of like keep these people on, in check, and, I write little stories that's happened on Power Rangers. I keep the Power Ranger crews happy, and I post, and if I come across old photos, I just found recently on my page. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know. Everybody knew the name, but it was a Green Ranger device when the Green Ranger lost his powers, it was a device, and it's like there was a spider thing in it, but and I found it, and I gave it to one of my kids. So everybody's like, I'll buy it, and I can't sell it because I get, and they wanted to keep it. But I do stumble across just gold every once in a while. Granted, this is my kid putting it aside because I at one point said you could have it, but I did, that's cool when I find stuff like that. But and like I said, I'm not bitching about the fans. The fans have been fantastic to me. They're always cool. I just, every once in a while, I don't think people know who I am. They think I'm some like, this guy is selling stuff on the side, like I'm opening up my jacket going, hey, you want to buy a more for you?
Just a long leather jacket that's full of all the risk communicators.
I have the hero one somewhere. I had two of them, and I'd love to find that, like open a box and go, oh, there it is. I think it's in my storage.
It's you guys are familiar with I think it's called The Toys They Made Us. It's a Netflix series. So yeah, so in the next series, they have the whole Power Ranger episode, and when I'm looking at this warehouse, it's like, I guess they were done with the props, so they just kind of threw them to the side. What do you guys do? Do you guys like kept them? I'm pretty sure some of them were reused.
Everything I still don't understand this. I left during Red Forever. That was the last thing we're shooting, and Disney I shouldn't have left. I don't know why I did, but Disney. I mean, Disney had bought the show. They're letting everyone go, and they were going to New Zealand.
Yeah.
How dare they? I've been here from the beginning, and I walked upstairs and I go, I'm quitting. And but I waited until the last episode, and I could have just filled up van full of monsters, helmets, because we just had them there, But when Disney got it, they gave, they sold a lot of that stuff, gave it away, and they took a tree trimmer to the monsters and were just destroying the monsters because they didn't want to deal with them. And during this time, they were getting rid of their prop house, so they were destroying and they didn't, they auctioned some of the stuff off, but majority of the stuff they just got rid of. And I'm a fanboy. Every show I work on, I'm taking, Rob Zombie's Halloween, I'll be taking this knife. I make sure I have something iconic, for and that's another thing is, these guys probably, I'm not bound, but I worked on the show, for so long. I work on the show from beginning, middle, and end. I create things and stuff like that. I just want, there's a reason why I want these props, because people always hound me for stuff, like Michael's knife. No, it means too much to me. There's certain things that I want to keep, and they keep jacking the prices up. And every time I finally sell something, I mean, I have two of Jason's morphers, and I sold one of them, and then every time I sell, like I'll sell it for $5,000. I see it going for like 20 grand. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. We, sometimes we gotta look a little bit over the volume, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. Sometimes, like, you work so hard on these props. This was what, almost 30 years ago now.
35.
35. 35. I'm tired. I'm sorry, but sometimes you open a box and you just look at you look at these items and you're like, you remember what you were doing that day you finally got them out. You remember those memories.
Yeah, that's what's magic. I mean, that's the reason why we're toy collectors, because we pick up that like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea submarine that and you remember being 6 years old and having it in the bathtub and just playing with it, and for a brief second you're that kid, and that's the reason why people always collect this stuff. That's that's the feeling. That's the reason why horror props are so big, because horror movies was a big impact on our childhood. When we started watching really scary films, it did whatever it did to us. And it, and guys like me, I eat, drink, and sleep it, but when I see like the Aurora Frankenstein model, or or the classic monsters, and I remember painting it with my grandfather, and what a great memory it is. And horror has that because it affected you more so than I think a lot of stuff, because it scared you, it was an exciting thrill. The reason why we go to theme parks is because we want that roller coaster thrill. Well, the horror did that to you the first time you really got scared in a movie, that affected you. And some people like went away from it, but the people that enticed love horror film. And I think that's the reason why I love horror films so much. I love that feeling that I had when I was a kid. It was exciting for me.
Well, speaking of your love for horror, obviously we mentioned your horror icona page. You briefly mentioned earlier that you were doing a haunted house. So how's that coming along?
Yeah, well, it's funny because Dangling Carrot in Santa Clarita is to me one of the greatest graphic houses in the world. Every time I have something made, everything, the beer bottles that we used in Piranha 3D, we went there and they created these. Oh no, that was ISS, damn it. But anyway, they created a bunch of stuff for me. The guy that runs it, I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar company, and he's laid off everybody because the industry's dead. But he woke up and he goes, I'm going to do a haunted house. And I was the first person he called, come up with a concept for a haunted house. And they wanted to incorporate Dangling Carrot somehow. And I came up with a concept with their creative team, and they loved it. And then, I went home and, and this is a fact. I mean, this is like a week ago. I'm going, Halloween's here, with, all of our Halloween venues I'm going to them already. I go, I don't think we're going to be able to make money and to have this thing ready and running enough, because I think it's the second week of October that it's going to open up. And I was thinking about it, and then it's weird. I woke up the next day and I started and they had already hired a production designer, carpenters who were doing the maze, and I go, no, it's not scary enough. I have a great idea and stuff, and they're like, the fire marshal's already approved this maze, Mark. No more great ideas. We're done. So whatever your idea, and for like an hour, I was going, man, we're not going to do this idea. And we had our first production meeting yesterday, and I'm listening to it, going, oh wait, that's my idea too. Oh yeah. What was I thinking? I think I just lack of sleep and whatever, but it's going to be really scary. I think it's going to be really good. And because it's a themed haunted house, it's a dream sequence. It's kind of like Meow Wolf meets one of the best mazes at Universal Studios. It's going to be scary. I hope, because it's got my stamp on it. This is something I'm saying. No, I'm going to make it scary, folks. And when I went into the meeting, I said, everything we do, we're going to make it. I'm going to put a little bit of spin on this because I want to make this. I want people being frightened in there and I'm the guy, I'm horrible because, I've gone to every haunted house in the world. I've already been to Universal. I'm Tuesday. I'm going to the first night of Halloween haunt in Knott's Berry Farm, which are big haunts here. And, I'm the worst, you guys got people trying to scare you and stuff, but I'm just looking at the atmosphere, the way it looks and stuff. And when they jump out, I'm always like, oh, it's good. You look great, blah, blah, but I never, I'm too old to get scared. But every once in a while, I'll turn the corner and there'll be a guy there and I go, and I go, good for you. Good way to go. You got me. But I love it. And I think this house is going to have that.
Cool. Well,
I'm sorry. It's called, Grizzly Gardens. I didn't come with the name. Grizzly Gardens, and it's in Santa Clarita. So anyone that's in the Santa Clarita area, come see me there. I'll be there.
Okay. Well, that's about all we've got time for on our usual time slot on this. Thank you very much for joining us, Mark. For everyone watching at home, it's Horror Icana, which is Horror ICANA.
Yeah.
For the group, in order to get the props, the reproduction props that have come from the original molds and certificates of authenticity. I've seen some cool stuff on there, like the replicas of the Dragon Daggers, Ninjetti coins, stuff that you don't normally come by. So
Yeah,
if you're a
you
Power
see,
Rangers fan,
You see, I've had it for a while. I just couldn't come up with the logo for it, but I have Trini's daggers. When the first time of course, it's going to look not as good as the Japanese because they had a team of brilliant professionals, and Power Rangers had me. But I have Trini daggers for sale now. So I mean,
oh
it's
nice.
from the mold. So, and I loved her so much. So I'm kind of cool. I'm glad I have that. There's a couple of things I'm making that JDF had hired me to make, and I've been waiting a couple of years before I release it, but I'm going to be making that stuff too. But yeah, and of course I'll be selling horror stuff and telling wacky horror stories and fun. So come join, buy stuff off me, and if I send you money back, bitch you at me about me on other pages, just for the hell of it, just get my blood up. Appreciate it.